fellow diecast enthusiasts. Today we're going to be looking at the Datsun 260Z 2+2 Matchbox car. This one has kind of a special place in my heart because back in the day, my dad used to work, he used to commute over to the city from where we lived. We lived kind of in the mountains, and he would go to the toy store, and it was like, an hour and a half away. He would go to Toys R Us and on Fridays, and he would bring back, sometimes he would bring back on Fridays a Matchbox car for me. And this was one of the very first ones I remember him bringing back for me. This is just, the Datsun 260Z is a pretty cool car. Personally, I prefer the 240, but there wasn't really a 240Z then around that time when he bought this and brought it for me. So, yeah, definitely have always thought, this is one's had a special place for me. You can tell it's well played with, you can see the wheels are moved. We used to, run these across the concrete outside, and we would make actually, trails and tracks in the dirt and stuff and drive them around. And, I cleaned it up a bit here, but yeah, you can tell it's definitely very well loved, very well played with car. This is back when they had opening, most of the Matchbox cars had some kind of moving or opening feature. This one has the opening doors, which is one of the more common opening features and moving parts on the cars back then. But yeah, interesting color choice on this one too, that kind of yellowish interior with the burgundy body. And actually, as a bonus here, I've got a couple more of them that I think he brought me another color. I think he brought me this blue one also back then. And I've got this silver one as well that I think I bought, probably when I was a kid. I used to get an allowance each week, and I would spend it on Matchbox cars, honestly, or I'd save up and get Lego. But yeah, I pretty much would buy a lot of Matchbox cars. You can tell both of these are very well loved, well played with cars, but they still roll. They still roll just fine. They've got, the opening doors still work. Interiors are a little dusty. These both have red interiors, curiously, compared to the yellowish one on the burgundy version there. But yeah, these were one of my favorites back then. It has a special place for me because it's one of the first ones I remember getting, one of the earliest pieces in my collection. Wow, this one actually is really beat up, isn't it? One thing about this car that I always, when I was a kid, I really liked the cars that had the really springy kind of bounce to them. And this one really is kind of, it doesn't really like push down or anything. It doesn't have a good, springiness, kind of like, I don't know, here, let me grab one of these. This is one of the ones I've done a different video on, but you can see this Road Blaster's Mercedes has the, very springy, and it makes it roll a lot better and everything. But I think this is kind of an older car than that. And they didn't used to do, the really springy shocks and everything on those, or they're not really shocks, they're just springs. But yeah, so anyway, so yeah, a few different color variations. I think this car came in a lot of other colors, like gold and black and other things, but these ones here are the colors that I personally have in my collection. And when I'm at flea markets and stuff, I keep an eye out for these older ones. A lot of times people ask a lot of money for them, so I don't buy them unless I find a good deal. But yeah, the Datsun 260Z 2+2 Matchbox. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments.